I'm always shocked when I hear about like those really big releases from WWE where it's like, oh yeah, we had to get rid of so and so for budgetary reasons. Main one, Bray Wyatt. That was weird to me. But today we've got a video that is 10 wrestlers that WWE instantly regretted firing. I wonder where they get their information for this one, but I'm curious. I want to see. The thumbnail had an ass on it. Why not? If you like to check out the content yourself without me reacting all over it and showing the original creator some love and support, click that top link in the description. If you want to react to content with me and the flock over on Twitch, click the bottom. You know how to do it. Come on, you know how to do it. Young ones, I'm watching you. Don't be weird. Don't be weird. I'm watching you. Just stay over there in your little corner. I'll let you rock out for this time. If you guys are ready, let's get right into it.
10 wrestlers WWE instantly regretted firing. Number 10, Daniel Bryan. The debut of the Nexus faction on WWE television was impactful, memorable, and borderline legendary. It was a TV 14 angle delivered in the world of PG.
Dude, that is that not a John Cena doppelganger? Like, you're not fooling nobody, Darren Young. The hair look real, man. You ain't fooling nobody.
And unfortunately, this is where the problems began. Due to Daniel Bryan choking out Justin Roberts with his own tie, this wasn't seen in line with WWE's established PG guidelines, and it was reported that numerous political players and sponsors complained directly to WWE. WWE would reluctantly let Bryan go from his contract, and it was widely reported that this was something that they simply just didn't want to do. It was only fitting that when the backlash died down, WWE would bring Bryan back into the mix, and they didn't hesitate to do this within a few short months. Bryan would make his return at the 2010 SummerSlam pay-per-view in the main event of the show, and Bryan would go on to become one of the top names in the company, winning the world title on numerous occasions. Number 9, Finlay. Now, it could often be the case that WWE rushes into firing a talent or a producer, and this was a case with Finlay.
Man,
Finlay was the producer for a live event on the road to WrestleMania 27, and Finlay would order The Miz to interrupt the national anthem. Unfortunately for WWE and Finlay, members of the National Guard were in attendance and they were extremely offended. The blame fell on Finlay, who was punished in the most severe way possible as he was released from his WWE contract.
Damn, bro is going for the super heel heat, and then, oh, ugh. On one hand, I understand what we're doing, but on the other hand, it's like, oh, them fellas are in attendance, though. That's disrespectful. I don't know. Firing is kind of crazy, though. Firing is kind of knee-jerk reaction here. I was like, yeah, I don't think he had to get a buy.
Contract. The backlash to this internally in WWE was one of uproar, as Finlay was beloved within the locker room, and even names such as Jim Ross would criticize the move publicly. It was almost instantaneously that WWE realized that they got it completely wrong, and that Finlay shouldn't have been fired. Finlay would be brought back into the company the following year with open arms, and thankfully there was no bad blood on either side. Number 8, Bronson Reed. One of Triple H's pet projects when he was running NXT was Bronson Reed. Reed would become NXT North American champion, and on paper, he had every tool it took to be a major.
Who the fuck is that guy? If you're watching this video and you know who this guy is, tell me about him. I don't know who this is. I'm unfamiliar with NXT. I'm ignorant.
Player on the roster. Sadly, when Reed had his official main roster tryout, Vince McMahon hated his work. McMahon hated his work so much that Reed would be fired from the company. This must have enraged Triple H, as he had put so much effort into getting Reed over, and now it was all ruined. When Triple H received creative power on the main roster, one of his first official acts was to bring Reed back. Reed has been outstanding since his return, and he has truly stepped up and delivered at the level that Triple H believed he could all those years ago. Number 7, Tony Storm. Tony Storm has emerged as one of the top stars in AEW, and her character work received critical acclaim and appreciation, even from AEW's biggest haters. Storm was under a WWE contract for several years, yet all WWE did with her on the main roster was book her in horrendously delivered comedic segments, which in turn made her look like an utter fool. When Storm asked for her release, it was immediately granted by WWE. This was a case of WWE not knowing what they had until it was gone. Storm would reflect on why she exited the company during an appearance on Oral Sessions, and Storm didn't exactly hold back. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. A lot of people don't enjoy it at all. For some people, it just works out, and for others, it just makes them miserable. And I guess I just fell into that category. I guess it just wasn't for me at that point. Let's face it, they just fire people left, right, and center out of the blue. I could be fired next week, and then it's like, what's the point? It just got very pointless, to be honest. It's been hard to convey that, especially to fans, especially to the people that just aren't in the business, and they'll never understand. I must sound ridiculous to those people, but it's the reality of what it's actually like. WWE, without a doubt, would re-sign Storm within seconds if she decided to leave AEW, and Storm is a great example of why sometimes it's always a good idea to bet on yourself. Number 6. Mickie James. WWE may not have outright rejected firing Mickie.
It's crazy how they kept throwing Mickie James out. Why, she should have been a mainstay forever, dude.
James in 2021, but the way they handled her release would have certainly led to a lot of regret and anger within the company. James was released from WWE due to budget cuts relating to the COVID-19 pandemic, and James took to social media to share that WWE had sent her belongings back to her in a trash bag. Yeah, that's right, a trash bag. It showed the world that WWE really didn't care about their talent, and the incident received mainstream news coverage. It was a truly horrendous look for WWE, and they knew they'd just made a huge mistake. But WWE did take immediate action, and this is what James had to say during an interview with Ariel Helwani. Personally, I wasn't as offended as the rest of the world was offended, just because I feel like it does suck and it's very, the symbology of it all. You know, even when you think about it professionally or however you feel personally, how you've been professionally booked or any of those things, all of those things aside, like that bit alone is kind of like already on a low. James will go on to state that she received calls from Stephanie McMahon, Triple H, and Vince McMahon, and the WWE were quick to confirm that the name responsible, reportedly being Mark Carrano, was no longer
Dude, look at his face. You can tell this guy's a cock. I'm pretty sure they showed him on Total Divas as like talent relations or whatever the fuck they're inside. This guy's a cock. Look at his face. If your face is like this, you're a cock. Oh my god. If the Miz's personality back when he was first there, like when he first got in, had to be given a 4, this guy's face is the Miz. Yeah, this guy's face is the Miz when he first got it. What a cow.
Employed with the company. Number 5. Aleister Black. A former NXT champion, Aleister Black, was yet another name released from WWE due to the COVID-19 budget cuts.
I did not
this release was baffling, as Black had just returned to WWE programming with a new character, and they were already giving up on him. A matter of hours after Black's release was made official, it was reported that numerous companies, including AEW, wanted to sign him up, and overnight, Black became the biggest free agent in all of wrestling. Triple H must have been devastated, as Black was one of his top stars in NXT, and now Vince McMahon was releasing him without a care in the world. It was reported for years after the initial release that WWE would want Black back if he ever left AEW, and fast forward to 2025, this is now on the horizon as Black is set to make his grand return to WWE programming. Number 4. AJ Styles. AJ Styles was working in the final years of WCW without an official contract, and when WWE came calling, they knew AJ was immensely talented, but all they offered him was a developmental deal with OVW. Wow. WWE had the chance to sign one of the biggest.
That's crazy, because it like, looking at some of the compilations and stuff, it would seem like AJ was a big deal. A really big deal in TNA. Ah. Developmental, really? I don't know.
Names of the 21st century to the main roster, yet they cut ties with him completely. AJ would eventually sign for TNA, where he would become their poster boy for the next decade, and AJ would cement himself as one of the biggest names in the world that wasn't signed to WWE. When he would finally put pen to paper for WWE at long last in 2016, the buzz was palpable.
Dude, he left such a cool impression on me when he popped up in the Royal Rumble. I didn't know who the fuck he was. The name was familiar. I knew there was a bit of buzz, but when he got in the ring, I definitely was like, ooh, this guy is, okay. I like him. With the soccer mom haircut, with the Karen haircut. I like you. At the time, I knew nothing about, like, fucking, you know, the TNA shit. So it's like, he's great, though. He's great. Bubba.
Now, there was initial concern at first that they wouldn't know how to use AJ. Whilst it was a rocky road at first, AJ has had a Hall of Fame career in WWE alone. Number 3, Bray Wyatt. One of the COVID-19 related releases that received a significant...
This one would have had me really like, I would have had to fight the other members of the board or whoever, like, yo, are you fucking serious? Are you dead ass? What the fuck? We are not putting up a future endeavors post about this man. What the fuck are you doing? Hello? I would have had to sacrifice some of them damn divas. Like, yo, get some of these ladies out of here, man. Ain't no fucking way. We need to run 6 of them to keep this. You're wildin'. You're bugging out.
Criticism from fans was that of Bray Wyatt. Wyatt was reportedly let go due to his high salary, as well as WWE being in a creative rut with him. It was said that Vince McMahon often had issues with the former WWE champion, so it ultimately was a no-brainer for WWE to let him go. But Wyatt was one of the most creative minds WWE had ever had under contract, and it was backwards at how they were just willing to let him go without a second thought. The fan backlash was rampant and fans were actively campaigning for WWE to bring him back, and this must have been the exact moment when WWE had just realized how popular Wyatt was with the audience.
He could have ended up popping up on somebody else's fucking promotion and we would have just been cooked. Like, we would have just been cooked and had to hold that, like, how fucking, ooh, what the hell?
McMahon, to the surprise of many, wouldn't opt to bring Wyatt back. Instead, it was Triple H, who was a long-term supporter of Wyatt, and he insisted that Wyatt return to the company in 2022. Number 2, Matt Hardy. In 2005, Matt Hardy's world would be shattered when he found out that Lita was having a real-life affair with fellow colleague Edge. Hardy, upon finding out this information, would take to the internet to share his side of the story, and in typical WWE fashion, they found this to be unprofessional, and they released him from his WWE contract. To say this angered WWE fans would be an understatement, especially because Lita and Edge were receiving pushes on TV, yet the man that was wronged was now unemployed. Firing Hardy instead of offering him support was a terrible PR move for WWE, and media outlets across the world would pick up the story. Hardy was supported both online as well as the live shows, as chants in support of him were delivered on Raw, SmackDown, and live events. The reaction was so severe that WWE were forced to bring him back, and this rehiring should have come with a formal apology and an acknowledgement of WWE's mistake. And number 1, CM Punk. There was a ton of discourse in late 2014 whether WWE would sink as low to fire a man on his wedding day, and the majority of fans were under the impression that WWE without a doubt
That's some mega petty shit, by the way. To fire someone on their day off on their wedding day. Absolute dickery. Like you're a cock. Not just the regular cock. You're a hard cock. Like what are you doing? Why would you do that? That's fucked up. That's fucked up.
With malice when it came to the firing of CM Punk. Punk walked out of WWE following the 2014 Royal Rumble, but he wasn't released from his contract until the end of the calendar year. WWE, for whatever reason, waited to fire him on his actual wedding day, and with Punk still having friends in WWE and his wedding date being common knowledge, all the signs pointed to this being deliberate. What WWE wouldn't have expected was for Punk to tell the world what they had done, and this would have been a moment that WWE knew they had messed up on. This story was so newsworthy at the time that McMahon directly addressed it on a live podcast, and McMahon would apologize to Punk and claim that this was not deliberate, which fans had a tough time in believing. But there you have it, folks, 10 wrestlers WWE instantly regretted firing. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.
I don't think you guys are alone in, like, not liking CM Punk. Like, he's a very polarizing figure. For the longest time, I kind of just dismissed him as somebody who kind of blew up for, like, whining. Like, he's just whining. Not happy about your position in the company, whatever, but I'll kind of appreciate him a lot, actually. I think he's a dope fella. He's a dope fella. But I take the stance of kind of backing away from shit and just kind of looking at what's presented in front of me. Slow key objectively, he still was whining on the mic, but it did set the world on fire. It did set a precedent. Yeah. Also, I had a fever dream moment where I was like, this can't be real. But like, wasn't there a time where like, was it like Triple H and CM Punk and a couple other guys like on commentary and running the show? I feel like I imagined that. Anyway, anyway, thank you guys for watching, hanging out with us. If you want to support the original creator of the content, go ahead and click the top link in the description. If you want to hang out with me and the flock on Twitch, click the bottom link. I've also got bonus content on Patreon that I cannot upload to YouTube due to copyright issues and whatnot, claims and whatnot. So, you know, if you want to check out some of the bonus content, you can see that. No ghost titties, of course. So don't be over there trying to be a coomer, okay? We upload stuff on Patreon rather frequently. So if you want more bonus content from me, if you're not tired of my voice somehow, go ahead, check it out. It's free. You don't gotta pay for anything. Goodbye. Thank you so much to those of you that have made it over to the Patreon. I appreciate you.
I'm still hungry.